Good morning, brothers and sisters. Hope everybody's doing great. It's Thursday, almost at the end, almost at the weekend. Praise God. I tell you what, there's a lot going on in the world. Um, it's hard to keep up with one news cycle before something else comes into it, or it's hard to stay focused on one thing because there's so many things going on at once. We know this, and that's why there's so many conspiracy theories that things happen to take attention off of one thing or the other. I've said this before. Um, there's more than just one thing that needs our attention all the time, and so something can be very important, can be vitally important, like the release of the Epstein files. Um, at this point, I just don't think they're ever going to release it. I don't care who's in office. I mean, everybody in the Trump administration was gung ho. Oh, we're definitely going to release it. It's definitely going to happen, and it didn't. So it doesn't matter who's in office. They're all going to protect their pedophile buddies, but there's other things going on in the world too that are important. Um, Not just in our country either. I was texting back and forth with Tribe yesterday, and he sent me something that's going on. We know that there are protests going on in the UK. There's stuff happening in Germany and Denmark and France. There's an upheaval and an uprising of the native citizens of those nations against the unchecked immigration. I mean, there really is a radical Islamic takeover in Europe. It's really going on, and it's going on through unchecked, open immigration. Same thing that we've been facing the past 4 years here in our nation. So anyway, Tribe sent me this. It's Nepal, France, and Japan. Their governments are crumbling. The Nepal Prime Minister resigned after waves of mass protests swept across the country. Streets filled with anger over corruption and mismanagement, showing that when trust is gone, power vanishes overnight. And in Japan, the Prime Minister, his entire cabinet resigned. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine if everyone in our president's cabinet just resigned all at once? Now we're in our cabinet. I don't know how it is in Japan, but in our cabinet, I mean, you're talking about over 100 positions that run different sections of our government. If they all just said, you know what, peace out, we're gone, we're tired of this, and then all the disarray that would fall as the leaders of those different cabinets and run different parts of our government all over the country are just gone. So, I mean, again, this United States, um, we're much more complex and involved than Japan, but still, their entire common they're the third largest economy in the world, and now they're facing all of these voids in their leadership. So it's not really clear what's going to happen. Um, I found something on Nepal. What's going on over there? It's interesting. I mean, it's a small country. You know, it's where the Himalayas, Mount Everest, and all that is, and you don't really think much about it. All right, so I put up some of these videos just kind of because I wanted to know what was going on in Nepal too. I hadn't really paid much attention to it. It's a tiny country north of India. It's kind of controlled by China. I don't know if you guys can hear this.
Now.org. I'm Amy Goodman. We end today's show in Nepal, where the country's former Chief Justice, Sushila Karki, looks set to become the interim prime minister following massive youth-led anti-corruption demonstrations. Protesters set fire to the parliament, other government buildings Tuesday amidst a police crackdown. Officials said today at least 51 people have been killed, including 21 protesters. The protests continued even after the government lifted it.
Apparently, the young people are protesting because the government banned a bunch of social media sites like YouTube and WhatsApp. I don't know if they did X or not.
With fury. What began as a digital grievance has erupted into a generational revolt. What's the genesis of this problem? Why are the youth so angry? Let's connect the dots. The government's sudden decision to ban 26 social media platforms,
26.
including Facebook, Instagram, and X,
Okay,
was framed as a move to curb hate speech and misinformation.
there it is.
But for Nepal's youth, it felt like a gag order, a final insult in a long list of betrayals: unemployment, nepotism, corruption.
You know, free speech is a cornerstone of a free nation. And you can see overcorrection. You can see speech being attacked by both sides here in our country. Hutch has been harping on this the past couple of days. Um, the way people are being fired and stuff over hateful comments for Charlie Kirk. Now, the government has no right to step in and pressure anyone to fire someone, even these hateful idiots saying stuff against Charlie Kirk. This is America. We have free speech. I'm a free speech totalitarian. I think all speech should be allowed, even what people consider hate speech. I mean, I kind of hate that term because it's subjective. What someone thinks is hateful is completely okay for someone else. I mean, Charlie Kirk's sharing the gospel and telling the truth and saying things like men can't get pregnant is considered hate speech by people on the left, and they wanted to stop him from saying that. You know, it's when it's our side saying stop trying to curb our speech, we're all in against it. But when the other side is saying they want to say what they want to say, we're all for them being silenced, and we shouldn't be. The way that you defeat hate speech is with better speech, right? But the government shouldn't be stepping in. We shouldn't be applauding Trump putting pressure on these places, or passing any legislation to stop people from using whatever speech they want to speak. Now, that being said, if you say something stupid and your employer wants to fire you, I think that's okay. I mean, I can't just go up, even though I believe in free speech. If I go up to my boss right now and I cuss him out, I'm probably going to get fired for it. And then when I get fired, I can't start crying on social media saying, oh, America's in trouble. We're not free to say whatever we want to whoever we want, whenever we want. We can't do that, right? So these people crying over getting fired and saying, you know, that America's fallen and they don't have free speech. Man, hush. Free speech has consequences. I've always said that. But over in Nepal, we're seeing where the government actually is trying to curb people's speech. 26 social media sites, man. So everything. Now that is what government-controlled media looks like. They are really stamping down. Could you imagine if all of our social media, the government said, no, you're not allowed to do that. No more YouTube, no more X, no more Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, TikTok, Rumble, whatever. I don't even know what 26 they're talking about. But there's things going on in the world, man. I guess so. With Nepal, they're trying to control the flow of information, obviously. But what things they're trying to cover up, I'm not really sure yet. Like I said, it's the first time hearing about what's going on in Nepal. Now, Japan, they're facing the same problems we are with unchecked immigration. The prime minister resigned about over a week ago. But apparently, they've been importing massive amounts of immigrants from Africa to employ in their working class. All right, and of course, when you do that, when you bring in massive amounts of people, you don't nationalize them. You know, they bring their own culture, and so keep bringing in millions and millions and millions of them with their own culture, their own religions, and all that stuff. Then it begins to change the culture of your country. Let's see. Says scum UN WEF puppet politicians sold Japan to the highest Islamic bidders. And then this filth, Amy, promotes to collapse Japanese culture with a smile.
For many migrants through the years. I'm honored to be here for the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development. It's an important platform to strengthen cooperation with Japan and countries across the African continent. And I just want to take a moment to express our deep appreciation for Japan's leadership and longstanding support to IOM. Japan has been one of our most committed and reliable partners, not only here in Asia, but across Africa and beyond. Thanks to Japan's generosity, we've been able to respond quickly in times of crisis, support families displaced from their homes, and create safe and dignified pathways for those seeking new opportunities. More than 3.7 million migrants now call Japan home, nearly 3% of the population, and the number is continuing to grow. Japan's experience shows how migration, when well managed, can bring skills, energy, and cultural richness to communities.
All right, so I don't know why this American lady is up there just grinning and smiling, talking about taking away Japanese culture and changing it. That's crazy, man. See, unchecked immigration. And who's there again? The UN and the WEF. I don't know if you guys remember last year we did that video that we got from Muckrakers exposing the plan of the WEF and the UN. And it's not just the United States they're doing it. They're doing it in all developed countries in the West and the East, apparently. So what's going on over Europe? What's going on in Japan, apparently? I didn't realize that was going on in Japan. I knew there were some things, there was upheaval in Japan, but I didn't realize it had reached this point. So it's reached a point to where the prime minister's policies has caused his whole cabinet to resign amid protests, and then he had to resign. So I'm not even sure what's going on in Japan. And their economy is being affected. They're the third largest economy in the world. Well, here's France. Macron moved to recognize a Palestinian state, and 2 weeks later, his own government collapses. Government collapses in France. Nepal stares at a coup, and Japan's prime minister resigns. And one man stood unshaken. Prime Minister Modi. Talking about India. So the point is, I mean, there's things going on all the time, all over the world. It's not just us, not just things going on here in the United States. It's cultural, it's political. There's people pulling the strings behind everything, and that's why anytime something happens, we always take it with a grain of salt, and that's why the people come out with all these conspiracy theories and stuff, like the inconsistencies with the Charlie Kirk assassination and things that we're looking up, and that's why people always say anytime something happens, you get the people who are, yeah, that's a cool story, release the Epstein files stuff, and there's so much going on all at one time. But who's pulling the strings? There's one master of this world system. Jesus called him the God of the world. It's Satan, it's the devil. He's pulling the strings. He controls these governments, even our own. So that's why yesterday I put that video out to light up the darkness, how we fight the evil. But I just want to share these things. I appreciate Tribe for bringing them to my attention. Appreciate Hutch for standing up for free speech for everybody, even the people that hate us and want to assassinate us. But he's right. If we're Americans and we believe in American ideals, we should stand up for these idiots. Because the reality is, if we support their speech being suppressed by the government, what happens when their side gets in control and that's already a law on the books and they want to silence our speech then? We always have to think ahead. You always have to think about these things, man. Freedom isn't some kind of reward that we get for good behavior. That's how prison works. We don't want to live in a prison system. We want true liberty. Praise God. Hope you guys have a great day, man. A little different. Today I had to do something different because my hours on StreamYard ran out and I couldn't record a video on there, so I'm using a different platform. So that's why things look all kind of wonky and mixed up. Appreciate everybody. God bless. Peace. I'm out.